Hello everybody, I'm your brother 9, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon Fire Red. In the last episode, we went through the Seafoam Islands, we caught 3 new Pokemon, we got a Golduck, which we technically didn't need to get because we already had 2 Psyducks, one was going to evolve into it, but it's faster to do that Golduck because it just happened to show up. We also caught a Seal and its evolved form Dugong, which is pretty fantastic, but most importantly, we got our first legendary Pokemon, the legendary Ice Bird Articuno, which is crazy. That thing's stronger than any Pokemon we have right now. I mean, we're pretty close, like Mito's getting up there, but still 7 levels is the difference, which is ridiculous. And in this episode, we're going to be continuing heading towards the west on these water routes to make our way to the next place, which is Cinnabar Island, so we can take on the next gym. Also, there are a lot more like little patches of land on the way there. There's also a whole bunch of trainers that I don't have to fight. And here we are! We're at Cinnabar Island! Yeah! That was really hard. I'll probably fight those trainers off screen or something before we take on the gym. But first, I want to come not into the mart. What am I doing? That's not the first place you go when you get to a new island, a new city. You go to the Pokemon Center so you can heal your Pokemon. Get them all nice and full rested. And then we'll take a look around the town for a little bit. We've actually we've got some things that we need to talk about. I came to visit the Cinnabar gym, but the door's locked tight. There should be a key for it somewhere. Could it be in that burned? The gym is locked? The gym leader's friend used to live there, they say. Huh. Okay. The gym is locked. That's interesting. Do you have lots of friends? Mine with the usual friends is fun, of course, but how about visiting the Union Room every so often? Well, that's probably not gonna happen because, you know, I'm playing on an emulator. Pokemon can still learn techniques after canceling evolution. Evolution can wait until new moves have been learned. Yes! We've kind of already talked about that, though. I appreciate it. Alright, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna talk to this old man, actually. Scientist conducts experiments in the burned-out building. You know, the one they call the Pokemon Mansion. There's a Pokemon Mansion. We're gonna come to this gym because it's locked. They're just gonna lock a building like that. Why? What would be the point of locking this gym? I don't understand. Girl, do you know? Cinnabar Gym's Blaine is quite the odd fellow. He lived on the island since way before the lab was built. The lab, you mean the Cinnabar Island, the Fire Town of Burning Desire. You mean the Pokemon Mansion, which is this giant building right here. Also, if you chose to head south from Pallet Town, you would end up coming to this little point right here, and you would have gotten here a lot faster, but you wouldn't have gotten Articuno. So, like, was it really worth it to go that way? I don't think so. Now, before we go to the Pokemon Mansion, we're going to come here to this place. We study Pokemon extensively every day. People often bring us rare Pokemon for examination. Do we have any rare Pokemon? We have an Articuno. A photo of the lab's founder, Dr. Fuji. What? We know Fuji. We've seen Old Man Fuji. Pokemon Lab, meeting room. Well, let's head in the meeting room. What do we got in here? Hello there, do you happen to have a Raichu? A trade for your... I don't want an Electrode? Electrode's a new type of Pokemon. Is it? Wait, wait, hold up. I'm thinking of a different electric Pokemon we haven't seen yet. Spoilers, no, we have seen Electrode. I don't need that. I found this most remarkable fossil inside Mount Moon. I think it's of a rare prehistoric Pokemon. You know, we've seen an old fossil. We have an old fossil. Do I have a Venonat? I want to trade it for a Tangela. Oh man, now this is a new Pokemon. If you head south on south from Pallet Town, there's actually like a little patch of land with some grass on it, and in there you can get a new Pokemon, or you can come to this girl and you can trade and you can get a Tangela. Tangela's weak, like really weak. It does have 115 defense, which is great. And 100 special attack, which is also pretty good. But every other stat it has is below 70, which is That's just awful. Now, it used to have 100 special defense as well, until the special split they have in Generation 2 completely demolished that special defense stat, and it also demolished all of Tangela's hopes and dreams along with it, because it's just horrible now. It wasn't too great back then, but it was at least a little more useful. I mean, like, its typing doesn't even matter, its move pool doesn't really matter, its ability doesn't really even matter unless you throw it on like a sun-based team, maybe? It's not a good Pokemon. Tangela is just not having a good day, no matter what you do. So, I don't really care about trading for you. I care because I had to get every single Pokemon Pokedex, but I don't really care about Tangela. It doesn't even evolve. It's like an unfinished Pokemon, in my personal opinion. But, you know, however they want to do. I'll teach you a nifty move. Teach it to a Pokemon. Watch the fun unfold. It's a move called Metronome. Does it strike your fancy? I love Metronome. It's one of my favorite moves in the game. Can anyone learn it? Tommy can learn it. Mito can learn it. I almost want to teach it to them. It's not useful for them to have it on their movesets though. Eevee can evolve into one of 3 kinds of Pokemon. Kind of. In this generation, it can actually evolve into 5. So you're a little off there. In Generation 1, yes, you would have been right, but that's not the case. Now, if we come into this lot, you know, there are signs. Do these signs say anything? This is the testing room. Oh yeah, the first one is the meeting room, right? This is the R&D room. The research and development. That's a good room. I'm looking for the Pokemon Ponyta. Want to trade one from I have a seal. You can't even get Ponyta at this point. If you're playing Generation 1 game, you could. But since we're playing Generation 3, you can't get Ponyta just yet. Hiya! I'm an important doctor. Yes, very much so indeed. Here I study rare Pokemon fossils all the time. I study. Have you a fossil for me? We have 2 fossils. We have the Dome Fossil, or if you got the Helix Fossil, there's another fossil for you to give him, or you can give him the Old Amber. So let's give him the Dome Fossil. Oh, that's a Dome Fossil it is. This fossil Kabuto, a Pokemon that is already extinct. My resurrection machine will make that Pokemon live again. Yep, he can just dig a fossil, and this weird doctor, apparently, I think it's funny how they say it's weird doctor, you can just make your Pokemon live using his resurrection machine. That's right. But since he can make your Pokemon live, which also I think if you just like walk out the door and then come back up, he's like, "You late? Where were you? Your fossil is back to life. It was Kabuto, like I think. We received the Kabuto. Do we want to give it a nickname? Yeah, sure, we'll give it a nickname. We'll call it Oro. We're gonna call this Kabuto Oro. That's a good name for it, sure. Now, you can see we just got a new Pokemon, but I haven't talked about the stats yet. I could talk about the stats way back when we were choosing between the Dome Fossil and the Helix Fossil, but like, I wanted to wait till we actually got the Pokemon. I will talk about the other one first. So, if you had a Helix Fossil, gave it to him, you would get the Pokemon Ammonite. Ammonite is actually kind of like Tangela, but less hopeless, which is not really saying much. Its stats are distributed pretty much the same way, you know, high defense and special attack, with the rest of its stats being pretty subpar, but like each of Ammonite's stats are just a little more boosted than Tangela, except for I think maybe the speed's like the same. It even has a similar ability in Swift Swim, so instead of being doubled for its speed being doubled in sun, it's being doubled in rain. So that's also pretty similar, but it's pretty much like Tangela. As for something that's better, Ammonite gets Spikes, which is a pretty wonderful move competitively. It's one of the best moves competitively. However, Rock/Water is awful typing, because it's weak to pretty much everything. Under the sun and under the moon, it's just weak. It's going to be taking hits. It's not going to be taking hits at all. It's going to be just getting knocked all over the place and getting destroyed, because it's not that great typing. Now, if you gave him the Old Amber, you would have gone Aerodactyl. And I could talk about Aerodactyl first, but I'm actually going to talk about the other Pokemon first, which, if you gave him the, the Dome Fossil, that's the one we gave him, right? Yeah, the Dome Fossil, you would get Kabuto, which we already know. Kabuto isn't much better than Omanite Omastar. It's faster, and it's more physical oriented, which is better for like rock type moves, but it's worse for water type moves. So it's kind of a give and take here or there. It is pretty frail due to, you know, the same horrible rock water typing, and it does have low defenses. But, you know, it also kind of allows for some risk-reward play, especially if you give it moves like Endure and Flail and Sword Stance, and you put a lot of, it's like EVs and IVs into speed specifically. You can do some interesting things. It allows you to set up some like crazy attack boost, survive at 1 HP, and then just throw all sorts of devastating flails around. But it's a pretty situational set, so you're not going to be getting much out of it. Personally, I prefer how Kabuto looks, or Kabuto and Kabutops, so many Kabus, looks compared to Omni and Omastar, because it's just cooler. He's got like those like praying mantis sword hands things. I don't know. I think Kabutops is way cooler, and I'm kind of disappointed. I also like in Pokemon Stadium 1, if you use like Mega Kick with it, because I'm pretty sure it has Mega Kick, it does like a drop kick, which was so cool. But I mean, even though it looks cool, it's actually not that great of a Pokemon. Now, however, you can see I'm heading straight into the Pokemon Mansion. Why am I heading straight into the Pokemon Mansion? Because it's the only place left to go. And you'll notice that we also got like a little bit of a dungeon entrance into this. We got the whole the nice artwork screen, I mean, and then we got all this music going on. Yeah, this is a dungeon. There are a bunch of Pokemon just running around in here, which means we actually have a few more Pokemon to talk about. We have 2 new Pokemon to talk about. Now, both of these Pokemon you actually could have already gone up to this point. When you got the Super Rod, you could have gotten one of these Pokemon. In Celadon City, you could have gotten this Pokemon, Coughing. You could have received Coughing if you went to Celadon City and you started surfing on top of that water that I just showed like 2 episodes or something ago. Yeah. And if you surf around there, you could actually encounter a Coughing. But because I don't know, I didn't really feel like that was the time that I wanted to talk about Coughing, because to me, Coughing and the other Pokemon we'll talk about have always been encounters in this particular mansion. So even though you could get it back there, and it makes kind of sense because Coughing's like pollution in the air, you know, and Celadon City is like the big city, and there's all sorts of like pollution around. It kind of like makes sense. That was an easy catch. Cool. It makes sense there, but I just wanted to talk about Coughing and the other Pokemon, Grimer, here. So, let's talk about Coughing. Its thin, balloon-like body is inflated by horrible toxic gases, and it reeks when it's nearby. Coughing is probably the better of the 2 new Poison-type Pokemon. Its stats are less rounded than Muck's, but that great defense allows it to bulk some heavier moves. It also gets immunity to one of the weaknesses, to one of its particular weaknesses being a Poison-type. It gets immunity to ground because it has the ability Levitate, which is pretty fantastic. I don't know what to name it, so we're gonna call, I know what to name it. We're gonna call it Sticky. So, you know, you're not gonna be getting hit by any earthquakes at all with Coughing, which is wonderful because Earthquake is incredibly common. It's such a good move. People use it all over the place, but Coughing? No worries whatsoever. It also gets some less common support moves like Will-O-Wisp, Haze, and Pain Split. It also gets like Rest, which is nice. That's always good to have, especially if you're on a defensive Pokemon that like wants to keep healing itself. This is a Rattata. It's been a long time since we've seen a Rattata. That's crazy. Weezing, however, is not going to be doing a lot of damage, but it can soak up quite a bit of attacks, and it'll definitely be an annoyance to physical attackers with its high defense and using like Will-O-Wisp and stuff and Haze and nonsense. Yeah, it can definitely be a pretty decent Pokemon. You should definitely try using it sometime if you haven't already. Now, as for the other Pokemon you can get, which I've already said a couple times, you can get Grimer. Grimer is also actually a pretty decent Pokemon. It has great HP, special attack and defense, which they're all above 100 or at 100, which it definitely suits Grimer because it's a poison type and poison is physical, so you know, having nice attack is pretty sweet. Or actually, wait, that's not good because it has high special attack. Well, that's a little more unfortunate because poison is special. Well, that was a mistake. Yeah, no, I guess that doesn't help it as much. However, it still has high special attack and it still gets access to good special moves. So, I mean, you're not going to be having too much of a problem being on the offensive. You just won't get stab moves, which is a little disappointing because you can always want stab moves. However, as it is a poison type, it gets completely destroyed by Earthquake, which is, as I said, very, very common. It doesn't get the handy-dandy levitate ability that Coughing gets, so it's a little worse than Coughing. Its moves are its stats are a little more rounded, so that's nice, but it's not gonna have too much. It is a wall, but it can't really heal efficiently, and its move pool isn't too wonderful. Definitely think Weezing's the better of the two, but Muck isn't exactly a horrible Pokemon. It's definitely one that could be tested out here or there if you really wanted to see what you could find, you know? Definitely a Pokemon that you should consider for your team. Now, I have yet to see one. Also, there's a kid down here. I don't think he's a trainer, though, so I'm definitely going to talk to him. I'm pretty sure there are trainers. There's a Weezing. Okay. Well, I'm going to try and catch this Weezing. Let's throw a Nightshade. Weezing doesn't have too high HP, so this should do a decent amount. Yeah, we could probably pin him with another one. You know, get him up real close. Yeah! He's using Smog on a poison type? Poison ghost type, nonetheless? I don't know if ghost is resistant. That did like 1 damage. Yeah. That was a horrible idea, Weezing. I mean, I'm sure your AI is wonderful, and there's definitely a reason for that, because you were expecting some kind of switch, and you were making the readiest, or I guess it wouldn't be the readiest, the hardest of reads. I guess, do they have hard reads in Pokemon? Is that a thing? I know hard reads is a Smash thing, but I don't really think they call it hard reads in Pokemon. I'm pretty sure it's just the reads. Making all sorts of reads there. I'm sure there was something going on, but, you know, not your best choice. Also, how are you breaking out of these Pokeballs? You are at, like, 2 HP, and I'm throwing Ultra Balls at you. This is ridiculous. Just get in the darn ball. I have caught an Articuno. You are nothing compared to an Articuno. Level 50 Articuno, nonetheless. You are nothing. You should get in this gosh darn Ultra Ball, because that's where you belong, Weezing. You belong to me. You belong in my collection. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's right. I sound like that one guy from the Pokemon movie 2000. Very rarely, a submutation can result in 2 small coughing twins becoming conjoined as a Weezing. That's terrifying. I can't believe they consider that an evolution. That's like they literally say it's a mutation. Which, okay, you can call that an evolution all you want. So we had Sick E for the was it coughing? So we're gonna call this one wait, no, not Sicko. Sicko. I wanted Sicko. Whoops. That was close. Alright. Now, let's see what this kid has to say, because I'm a little interested. Why you started me? I thought you were Ghost. You're a trainer. I did not expect you to be a trainer. Okay. Well, I think that's probably it for this episode. We've done quite a bit. We talked about a lot of new Pokemon. What was it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 new Pokemon that we've talked about, and we got all the way to Cinnabar Island and checked out the entire island, except for, you know, this mansion we're going through and of course the gym, but like all the little buildings, which was what, 1? But we have done quite a bit. We've got how many new Pokemon? We've got quite a few new Pokemon. We could also trade to get a Tangela if we really wanted to. So I think that'll be it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please click that like button. Remember, you can always click subscribe if you want to stay updated on the series and other stuff coming out from me. Hope to see you in the next episode. We will continue through the Pokemon Mansion, probably do the Pokemon Gym as well. We'll see as things go on. It'll be a little iffy stints on how long things will take. And I hope that you're having a wonderful day. Thanks for watching.